A school garden is not only a place where students can learn about botany, life science, and the environment, it's a place where students, staff, and community members can decompress, find themselves, and put others first. With the help of IPSF, students, and community members, Lakeside would like to extend the current campus agricultural lab. This project would include expanding the size and the scope of the Lakeside garden area to include a greenhouse, new garden beds, trees, vegetation, irrigation, and common areas. This expansion would also include a sustainable compost system that would help recycle and divert organic waste generated by the student and staff population.
Welcome to our current garden. We've used the space to grow herbs and vegetables like this sweet potato here. Many of the fruits and vegetables we've grown have been used in our culinary arts program.
You can see we currently have 6 raised beds with an automatic irrigation system that helps to maintain the garden while we're away. We're planting broccoli, artichokes, herb, and cover crops today. The cover crop, or green manure, fertilizes the soil and it requires little maintenance during the off-season.
This little space gives us a place to come together, form friendships while contributing to school programs, such as the Culinary Arts Program, Landscape Design Program, and this Green Team Club. We've even had several parents and families volunteer to come and maintain the garden during extended breaks.
Our vision for this space includes an expansion of the garden. We plan to install a greenhouse and grow beds for temperature-controlled environments and protection. We have families who are volunteers from the community come and help maintain the garden outside of school hours and during long breaks. By expanding the lab, we are creating more opportunities for STEAM projects where we can learn how to design landscape, engineer irrigation systems, and provide space for us to take brain breaks, decompress, and support mental health. We can do all of this while giving back to the earth. We know these last 2 years have taken a toll not only on our students but our community. Expanding the space allows for community and collaboration, as well as a space for the community to retreat and reconnect with nature. Research shows that spending time in the garden reduces stress, increases local access to nutrition, and strengthens mental health and physical health. We also know that global waste is an issue, and it's an issue that we can address locally. Check out this video from SubPod.
Just one head of lettuce in a trash bag can take 20 years to break down in landfill, while releasing methane into the atmosphere. This is the amount of food waste the average person puts into landfill yearly. Multiply that by the billions of people around the world, and we have a big problem. To put it into context, if food waste was a country, it would be the third largest contributor to climate change, right behind China and the United States. That's a big problem, but sometimes the best solutions come in small packages.
The new California Bill 1383 will require residents and businesses to separate green waste. Currently, our school generates more than 30 pounds of organic waste per week. Creating a manageable, low-maintenance compost system allows the school to convert some of this waste into our garden as rich compost. The Lakeside community is currently comprised of 606 students and about 60 staff, all of whom can benefit from this space. The sustainability of this project is exponential and would extend to future students, staff, and families. This project would provide an opportunity for students to apply cross-curricular STEAM standards when designing and maintaining the new garden. Students will extend their knowledge as they learn about engineering and design, environmental practices, horticulture, farming, agriculture, and history through projects in the garden. Produce from the garden would be used to prepare meals in the culinary arts program. A positive school culture will be promoted as students from all backgrounds are able to enjoy the space. We, as students and staff, have partnered with Hart's Worm Farm and the Orange County Great Park Farm and Food Lab to help learn how to plan our garden. We continue to work with these community partners along with local nurseries to learn and share experiences through gardening. As our garden and produce grow, we will be able to give back to organizations such as Solutions for Urban Agriculture and other local community organizations in the form of produce donations. Our Green Team Club has been a part of Lakeside tradition for many years. This club is inclusive and provides opportunities for students to connect to each other, the school, and a bigger purpose. This lab will promote inclusivity and a place for students to connect. Once established, there will be little required resources. As nature has intended, we will rely on the plant cycle and compost systems to supply new vegetation and renew soil. Maintenance comes in the form of educational programs and volunteers from Green Team and families. Of course, we will still accept donations from future families, PTA, and other volunteers. The agricultural lab will be a vehicle for the STEAM and other curricular areas to integrate curriculum standards into the classroom. A few examples include, but are not limited to, involving student population in the process of collecting and recycling food waste, teaching health and nutrition and improving community nutrition through fresh produce, learning about seasons, weather patterns, and their effects on foods, noticing mathematical patterns that occur in nature, learning about biodiversity and building blocks of the Earth's soil and the Earth's biome, designing and drawing scale models of landscape plants. This project is just the beginning and holds so much potential. An agricultural lab can improve classroom behavior, teach conflict resolution, problem solving, and critical thinking, all while increasing self-esteem and combating childhood obesity. This project is innovative in its grassroots approach, which helps students work on themselves while not focusing on themselves.
Hi, greetings on behalf of Lakeside Middle School. I am sharing the grant from the Science Department called Extraordinary Engineers for Exploration and Conservation. So just a little bit more detail about the grant. We actually have multiple projects encompassed within our grant. This would reach all of 8th grade, so about 350 students, along with multiple 7th graders who want to take on a tech leadership role. So in terms of the grant, we are using a lot of engaging, relevant, hands-on projects. They're going to be using critical thinking skills, collaboration, problem solving, and they're also going to be using different software programs, as well as utilizing the 3D printers to actualize prototypes and other types of fabrication. We are planning on also incorporating a very cool tool that the district has supported called Nepris. And so we'll also be bringing in live talks from engineers to talk the kids through the process of engineering and problem solving. So let's get back to the grant. The first part of our grant is known as the Eco-Friendly House Project. Very, very relevant since there's lots of focus on reducing our consumption and also in utilizing renewable energy sources. So for this project, I have actually designed a little prototype here of what the rubric and the project will detail. Now, they are going to be incorporating 2 types of renewable energies into their housing design, and they will be also choosing the location of their house, which will be contingent on many of the natural resources they'll need to use and recyclable material and so on. Here's just a sample slide of what the students might be putting together. And so you can see it's very detailed in what they would be researching and the information they'll be gathering and extrapolating information from. So they will then apply this into actually designing their eco-friendly house on SketchUp. Now, this is where we need your help because we are going to be needing some SketchUp Pro software. This is actually a tool that real architects use, so it's very cool for the students to have this kind of experience. Now, they will be then utilizing the 3D printers to actually print out the prototypes of their eco-friendly houses. And you can see that they'll also be incorporating different types of eco-friendly furniture, appliances, and of course the renewable energy sources. All right, so that's project 1. So going down to our next project is our Mars Rover project. Now, thanks to IPSF, we actually got funded previously to buy Go-By-Go's, which was so cool because the kids got to have hands-on experience with coding these Go-By-Go's, and we actually had them simulate how the Go-By-Go's would be able to function and gather information on a foreign topography like Mars. So they had lots of fun with that. So we wanted to add kind of an enrichment or extension piece where they would be able to design their very own rovers, like using examples like Perseverance, Curiosity, and so on. Now, getting back to materials that would be needed for this. So in order to design the rover, they are going to once again use SketchUp, and we have detailed actually how the kids, you can see here from the presentation, how they would be looking at different components of rovers, and then using SketchUp to in fact embed those components within their rover. And they're once again utilizing the software to create something that they will then be able to manifest into a prototype using the 3D printers. So very cool experience for the kids to be able to get to do this, and definitely a lot of real world application. Now, our last project is actually our rocket design project. So for this one, they will be once again using some CAD software and other software to design their rocket prototype. We'll be incorporating Newton's laws, incorporating aerodynamics into this project. So by the way, all of these projects hit on our major NGSS standards, which I have also included here. So you can see that they're hitting a lot of these engineering standards as well as embedded content standards. So it's really just a fun, engaging way for the kids to be able to learn these learning targets while making this engaging and relevant. So you can see that for the 3D print rocket, we've also created kind of a prototype of how they'll be constructing their components using CAD software, and then being able to print off their winning designs. And then lastly, they actually get to test their prototypes using an actual rocket launcher. So definitely a great way to kind of sum up their learning. Now, for the project, we have some needs here in terms of finances. I'm going to go down to that, and you can see we are going to definitely need filament. Now, the great news is we have the 3D printers, and we are going to just need additional filament in order to be able to print some of these projects off. So I've detailed that in the total cost. Another great a tool we would like to utilize is a portable 3D printer table to be able to transport the 3D printer to different classrooms. And then we do need our SketchUp Pro software, which, good news, will be going on to the CTE laptops. So not only will the science classes be able to utilize that software, but also the CTE classes as well. And then lastly, our water bottle rocket launcher. So the total cost would be around $2,647. Now, timeline. This is really great because we set up a apprenticeship in previous years with the local high school for the robotics and STEM team, and they were able to actually teach the students how to best utilize the technologies like the 3D printer, like the SketchUp software, Go-By-Go's, and so on. So we want to set up that apprenticeship program again, or mentorship program, so we can have some of the current seventh graders, learn how to actually use these technologies and softwares properly. And then when they get to 8th grade the following year, they'll be able to disseminate this information to their fellow classmates and kind of take on that tech leadership role. So we actually have that set up in our timeline as well. So lots of great stuff we would like to be implementing in the future, and we really, really appreciate your support and your help. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me, Kelly O'Rose at Lakeside Middle School, or Lauren Fang, also at Lakeside Middle School. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.